Welcome and thank you for joining our training today on Advocacy Denver, when, why, and how to call. We hope this training will provide you with more background history on Advocacy Denver, more information on the programs we provide, as well as more information on exactly when you might reach out and refer a client for advocacy services. Advocacy Denver, which was originally known as the ARC of Denver, was founded in 1954 by parents of children with cognitive disabilities, just seeking out better services and supports in the community for their children and trying to influence policy on behalf of people with disabilities. Advocacy Denver is a part of the National ARC of the United States organization, and we were actually one of the first chapters in the country of the ARC. We are also joined in the state of Colorado by many other chapters that serve every corner of the state, while Advocacy Denver serves more specifically Denver City and County. Advocacy Denver is funded by, but not the same as the ARC thrift stores, which provides a steady and reliable stream of all of the nonprofit chapters that provide advocacy services in Colorado. And our board of directors includes self-advocates, parents of individuals with disabilities, and community professionals in the field of disability work that really drive and influence our programs and the work that we do. To learn more about our history and all of the individual programs at Advocacy Denver, you can visit our website at www.advocacydenver.org. So Advocacy Denver's work, we maintain a dual focus on better outcomes and opportunities for children and adults with disabilities at both the individual and systemic level. Our priority is to ensure individuals with disabilities have access to valuable services and to promote policy that results in better opportunities for children and adults. Our advocacy programs are designed to support individuals encountering barriers and to promote their full inclusion in the community through all stages of their lives. Our programs serve children and adults with disabilities and adults with developmental and intellectual disabilities and their families and caregivers who may reside in Denver City or County or served by Denver Public Schools or Rocky Mountain Human Services, and adults who are eligible but may or may not utilize HCBS waiver services. This may mean adults who have been diagnosed or found to have a developmental disability but have turned down any sort of formal services. So we also want to distinguish here between the child programs and the adult programs that child advocates work with a much wider range of disabilities, including children that may have learning difficulties and social emotional needs, while adults are more limited in providing advocacy to adults who have been diagnosed with an intellectual or developmental disability. So, in situations where you might call, if a client of yours is going through this sort of situation, you might call an advocate. So for those of you serving children, examples include a family needs support to understand school evaluation procedures, the timeline for completing those evaluations, and determining whether the child has a disability as defined by IDEA or Section 504. The family may need an advocate to guide and represent them in school disciplinary issues, or the child may face juvenile justice issues and don't know how to work within court systems that are unfamiliar with individuals with disabilities. For those of you serving adults, you may have a client in the situation where a host home provider wants to change residential agencies and the individual needs unbiased support to decide whether to stay with the provider or stay with the agency. An advocate can then come in and kind of discuss with the client and weigh their options and help them make a decision on their own and communicate that decision to their team. Also, a client may have no natural supports helping them advocate to their interdisciplinary team, and there are active issues with their services. So again, they need that unbiased support and an advocate to come in and help them weigh their options and communicate those decisions to their team. Another example is that a guardian has asked for opinions and guidance choosing the most appropriate day program for their loved one. In these sort of cases, we'd hope that you'd already sent out an RFP and provided the family with those responses so that an advocate is able to just join in and help the family go through those responses and find the best fit for their loved one. So because advocates are not attorneys, and there are limitations to the services we're able to provide, we think it's good to kind of just go through a clear list of what we are and are not able to do as advocates. So advocates can attend IEP or individualized education program meetings. We can attend annual service plans and any other IDT and team meetings to ensure respect for client rights and wishes. We can help facilitate supported decision-making, like we discussed in our examples, helping a client decide between services and other options and resources they have to find the best and most appropriate fit for them. We can assist with legal issues and ensure an individual's disability is represented in the justice system. Especially, this may look like communicating with a public defender to ensure that they're aware of a person's disability and working with service coordinators to ensure we provide that documentation to the courts. We can assist individuals in choosing appropriate service providers, and we can provide person-centered recommendations and community resources. We really see advocates as just another voice at the table, another wealth of information and resources on behalf of that individual that can hopefully fill some gaps in the team where they're maybe struggling to serve an individual, and we can help provide outside resources and things that may be available. So for the things advocates can't do, again, we can't serve in any legal capacity as an attorney, including we can't serve as guardians or a power of attorney. Power of attorney, that includes medical proxy, financial power of attorney, medical power of attorney, anything like that on behalf of a client. We can provide legal representation, or we cannot provide legal representation or facilitate probation or parole requirements. While we can help a client communicate with a probation officer, we cannot help them fulfill those requirements. Advocates cannot provide transportation to clients, and we cannot provide any other services available under HCBS waivers, including mentorship, personal care, etc., supported community connections, and things like that. Advocates cannot manage or apply for benefits, including Medicaid and Social Security. And also, advocates do not have the ability to override individual or guardian decisions. It is always our role to work with the client and their guardians on their behalf and provide them with the best information to make their own decisions. But when those decisions may be different than what the team or advocate wants, we are not able to override or make any decisions on an individual's behalf. So when it comes to making a referral, we hope that by following the steps, it can be very clear and easy for both ends. So first, before calling Advocacy Denver, please obtain permission or a release of information from the individual you're referring or their guardian to request advocacy services. We understand that there may be some cases where it is difficult for a guardian or individual to understand what an advocate is or can provide before doing so, and we encourage you to reach out in those sort of individual cases. But if you can, please obtain that permission first. Also gather the following information and be ready to provide it at the time of your call. That includes the client or individual you are referring's first and last name, their date of birth, their address, phone number, or email, whatever is the best contact for them. Any relevant service providers, especially relevant to the current advocacy issues, including the nature of the advocacy request or what is currently going on or needs assistance. And then the appropriate follow-up contact, and especially stating whether that be the individual or somebody else on the individual's behalf or on the individual's case. You can then leave a message on our referral and intake hotline at 303-974-2530. And it's important to remember here that callback times from advocates really vary throughout the year depending on advocacy caseloads. And we are a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday business and not a 24/7 or emergency resource. And we encourage you at that time to call the police or APS when appropriate. So we hope the information provided today gives you a better understanding of Advocacy Denver and how we can work with service coordinators, with IDT teams, with school teams on behalf of individuals. We hope that these short testimonials give you a better idea from a client perspective of how an advocate has helped them. And we hope this leads to more collaboration between our organizations and referrals on clients' behalfs. We look forward to working with you and advocating for client rights and promoting the inclusion and independence of all people with disabilities. Thank you.